Hello, I'm Monique Vorsier. I'm a spiritual coach. I wanted to chat with you for a little bit about perfectionism, something I know a lot about that I have worked really hard in my life to not make my main focus in life. I mean, have you ever heard the term progress over perfection? It's kind of like my own personal mantra, and sometimes it comes more than others because I need it more than others. And I just had to adopt this as a way to remind myself that I shouldn't fall into a perfectionism spiral. My perfectionism struggles just have gone way back. I think it was a way for me to really work on trying to make things the way that I wanted them to be in my life. And so, what I wanted to do was I wanted to learn about perfectionism and why it possibly was coming up for me. And so, in doing so, I did some research on it and found out some tips and maybe why I'm a perfectionist or why other people are perfectionists. So, a lot of high achievers, they set goals, they meet goals, but the difference between them and perfectionists is that instead of when the job is well done, a perfectionist is going to really not even celebrate it. And unless the job that gets done is done perfectly, they're still going to consider themselves a failure. They're typically really highly critical either of themselves or of other people or both. And this is because, and they typically tend to hone in on imperfections or mistakes that people make. They have a really hard time with mistakes. They a lot of times set unrealistic or unattainable goals and standards versus maybe just a high achiever who's gonna make a goal, and they're gonna usually make a goal that is achievable, attainable, a SMART goal. And then they really only focus on the results of their goals. And if they don't have results, they feel that they're a failure. And then they also really can struggle with criticism, constructive criticism, even. They really have a hard time with hearing that they're doing anything wrong because they really, truly, at their core, just have low self-esteem. It's kind of actually a sad thing if you ask me. And there's several reasons why perfectionism exists for certain people. They either have a fear of judgment or disapproval from others or even themselves. Maybe they had a parent that has unrealistically high expectations and then just kind of set themselves up for being a perfectionist. Maybe they just at their core have low self-esteem. A lot of times people are perfectionists in a need for control. They feel things are out of control, or they need to control their environment as a way to feel safe. And then they view or they tie their self-worth into achievements. I know I've been down this path before, and it's kind of a slippery slope. You think that your only value is what you do or who you are. It's really challenging to be a perfectionist. And the reason why is because it's freaking impossible to be perfect. So it's really a kind of a twisted sort of thing to try to be a perfectionist. And typically from my studies, they actually achieve less than high functioning people. And they're mostly stressed out all the time because they have this inner narrative and inner story that's just driving them, and it's not healthy for them. So I found some tips and tools that tips that can maybe help people who are struggling, or if you've identified, oh my gosh, this is totally me, that you can help to overcome your perfectionism. Really just create an environment where you feel safe and protected. And accepted, not perfected, accepted for how you are, who you are as a person. Engage in positive self-talk. A lot of perfectionists just push themselves using fear, like you're not good enough or whatever the story is. So using really positive self-talk, like you're doing great, keep at it, it's fine, it doesn't have to be 100%, it can just be done. Like I said, my mantra, progress over perfection, has worked really well for me in those times when it's just get the thing done, don't worry about all the other things. not comparing yourself to other people, thinking you should be further along or look a certain way. Perfectionists can really struggle if they use comparison at all. And then practicing mindfulness, being in the present moment, either through meditating or, so that you can feel what that feels like to be in the present moment. And then not just worrying about the future, not worrying about the past, just being where you are in that moment, doing what you need to do, and not thinking about the future or the past too much. And then in severe extreme cases, sometimes people need to go to therapy to have someone to help them along on their journey. Perfectionism is a really tough thing. I've worked really hard at it. Every day is a new day. And every day I really try hard to just like have fun and be in the moment and be free and not worry about like what other people think or even what I think about myself. Just try to just do my best. That's really what we're all here for, is to just do our best and learn and evolve and grow as we go along. So I hope that this helped you. I a lot of times will help my clients sometimes identify maybe perfectionism that's coming up for them, and we talk about it. And in my coaching practice, I'm always available for you if you need help with perfectionism. I get it. I've been there. I've done that. So I'm curious to know, I guess, if you struggle with it, any tips that I didn't cover that maybe you have to help with perfectionism. I love sharing in this medium because we can all learn and grow from each other. So please leave a comment below if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for listening. Have a fabulous day. Much love.